Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I will show you the team that I use on my free-to-play account to actually get a 1 key on Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. This is the classic budget and killable with Maneater. Why is it called budget and killable? Before you go to the comments and be like, this is not budget. It's called budget because you use the least amount of resources possible in terms of both speed and also gear. You don't need any legendary heroes to build this team, but the more heroes that you have to complete it, well, for this specific setup, then the better it is in order to get that 1 key. It's not possible to get a 1 key with any kind of heroes thrown in there. It is possible to get a 3 key, a 2 key with a multiple variety of heroes, but in this specific setup, these 5 heroes together give you that 1 key, and that specific hero that unlocks this potential is Vizier. I'm gonna repeat this again. Without Vizier, you can still get a 2 key or a 3 key with this setup, but with Vizier, because of that extension through the debuffs that he applies with the A1, then that's how you get that 1 key potential. I'm not going to repeat it again, guys. Vizier enables the 1 key. It's not needed to get a 2 key or a 3 key. I'm just saying it for those comments out there that just go over the fact that it's called a budget unkillable. It's the name of the team. That's what it was, and don't think about it twice, all right? Vizier. Right, in this team, he's built with 178 speed, and you'll notice that he does have retaliation gear on. The retaliation gear helps a lot with the extension of debuff, especially if you don't have it booked. I don't have it booked here. The masteries that I do have, though, are the counterattack masteries with retribution and also Giant Slayer, because he does do a triple hitting A1. The gear that he has on is not the best, but you'll notice he does have some amount of critical damage, so 200% critical damage with under 3000 attack. That's not a lot, and the accuracy that he does have is 240, which is okay. It's nothing too special. He does have accuracy here on the banner, but it's not leveled up. It's a 5-star banner, but everywhere else he does have a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of crit rate. He does have under 70% because I do use Farrakhan the Fat in this build. If you want to get more consistent damage and you do not have Farrakhan the Fat, then you do need to get closer to 100%. But this specific build, since we are using Farrakhan the Fat that boosts that critical rate up, then it definitely helps with the damage potential of the team. Plus, we also get the critical damage up, which helps a ton with the damage potential. But again, 2800 attack is not a lot. I mean, you can get 4000 attack with fewer stats and get better damage. It all relates to the gear that you have, and this is the gear that I have on my free-to-play account. So very simple. The speed range for the DPS heroes, so you're gonna have 2 DPS heroes, is 175 to 178. This is the classic speed range in this budget unkillable. It doesn't change anything, the fact that you have an ally attack in there, and I'll explain why. So we do have Maneater also, who will be the highest speed in there with 241. You can get 240. It doesn't really matter. Again, under 70% crit, 214 critical damage, 2400 attack, which is kind of low, and as low accuracy as you can, but that's what I could get. I actually using perception gear to get to that speed plus the damage, which is bad for Maneater. 130 accuracy is quite a lot for what you're trying to do, especially since I don't have the Great Hole upgraded. So if I ever upgrade this would give me another 30 accuracy, and let's say even if I had Faction Guardians, I would get closer to 170, 180. And that's not good, because you can crit and you will apply a decreased attack. If that is extended by Vizier, you lose out on the, by the end of the run, you lose out about 1 or 2 million damage, if I'm not mistaken, from one debuff that you're restricting. Anyway, let's go look at the other member of this team. Of course, it's going to be Geomancer. Geomancer is a huge damage booster, and he's actually going to be the biggest damage dealer in the team in the sense of his passive. If you guys don't know, his passive basically reflects the damage back to the boss. They changed it very recently, about a month or 2 ago. They changed this, and the way that this works now, instead of what it was before, is that it also deflects the damage, plus it does what the mastery used to do. So now we all go War Master instead of Giant Slayer that we used to do. So War Master on Geomancer, and I actually went down the defense route. This is a mistake. I shouldn't get Tough Skin on him. I did end up getting it. I should have gone the Defiant route instead, and I also get Selfless Defender. The reason for this is so that he starts being the slow boy. If you guys know the setup, he starts being the damage soak that you need in order to to allow for the other champions to not get the stun on that very first turn. So this helps a ton with the damage that he takes at the beginning, because he's a kind of a tanky champion on his own. We're trying to get as much HP as possible on the slow boy. The ranges of speeds is about 112 to 119 if I'm not mistaken, and I've got a 116 speed on him, 76% crit, so close to 70%. As I said, 225 critical damage, 4.4k attack, which is very good. 240 accuracy, because we need to land his HP burn, which does allow for us to get that you know, crazy amount of damage. And for the showcase, for the full run showcase, I'll be doing it on Ultra Nightmare Spirit, but I'll also show you how the team works normally if it's on Void, because the rotation is a little bit different on Spirit than it is for Void, since on Spirit we get the speed down debuff. So let's go over to Painkeeper, another good member of this one. No, I'll leave Painkeeper last. So we have Fireking the Fat, the other DPS. Remember, as I said, 175 to 178 on the DPS, and we have about 3.6k attack, 178 speed, 63% crit rate, 225 critical damage. For Fireking the Fat, since he doesn't buff himself, you can go to 100% crit. It's just that I can't get to that amount of crit plus accuracy on the account. It's just I don't have the gear. So I chose to get with this gear with the cruel sets on. Helps a little bit with the damage potential from Fireking the Fat. Plus I get a nice boost to the attack with the cruel sets. The perception is needed for his accuracy. He needs to land those poisons plus the defense down that he has on his A1, and the ally attack is needed. So in place of Fireking the Fat, you can use any other ally attacker that has a 4-turn cooldown on their ally attack. The ally attack has to be all allies, okay? So there's not many champions that could do this. It has to be all allies, because we need to be consistent with what Painkeeper gets in terms of a boost. All right. If not, if the cooldown is not 4 turns, because we need to be consistent on when he does it. If that's not true, then it will mess up the rotation, and that's for a different build. There are different builds with other ally attack champions, like Krila, for example. But it's a much different rotation, and I think Krila, I think she does have the same cooldown on it, but it's not consistent. It's actually a 3-turn cooldown, so if this is reduced, then she will be doing it inconsistently in this same build. Unless if you have it unbooked, then you will still have the 4-turn cooldown. But with Fireking the Fat, he's honestly the best one to fit in this kind of build, and that's his gear. Not leveled up to the max on everything. I just leveled up the amulets for a little bit extra damage. We don't have the banner leveled up to full, which would have given me a little bit more attack, which would actually boost my damage numbers, but that's how it is. Remember, I do have Fireking the Fat. Ideally, Fireking the Fat should be the slowest out of the 2 DPS. I have him at 178, and the same thing goes for Vizier. He's again 178. But the positioning that I have on them on the clan boss allows for Vizier to go before Fireking the Fat. So he goes first, and that definitely helps. Because you need him to be the last one going before Painkeeper. And I'll show you exactly what I mean on the start of the run. And then finally we have Painkeeper. Painkeeper, again, we're trying to get a little bit of damage here. 70% crit, 211 critical damage, but the speed has to be 220. It's a little bit higher, but there's a range allowed here, so 219 to 221. You can go a little bit up and down. Her HP has to be lower than the slow boy, lower than Geomancer, and the defense should be high enough so she doesn't get the stun. It's a little bit hard, especially if you don't have the gear for Geomancer to get him to like 45k HP, which makes it easier to move things around. But this is what I had on the account. So 2.7k attack. It's not very high, but the critical rate and critical damage is okay, especially since we're getting the boost from Fireking, which actually helps with our damage numbers. I have 1 cruel set on, and if you can actually go 1 immortal set, which is gonna help her gain some health every single time she gets a turn, which helps with the chance to get the stun. So if you also have the blood shield accessories, that helps. I actually have one on my where is my Maneater? I I have one blood shield on him, which helps with him not getting the stun because it's an additional buff on there. But it's not needed. It actually just helps. The masteries on her, again, I went War Master with a little bit on the support. I also got Steadfast just to help again with not getting the stun. I didn't show the masteries, I think, on Maneater. These are the standard masteries, nothing too special. We always get Life Drinker if we can, except for the slow, the target, the slow boy. All right, that's the champions, that's the setup. I hope you watched this far because I mentioned some things that are critical to this build. If you skipped, then you might have missed what I meant. All right, so I think by now the clan boss must have reset. All right, just reset. Let's check on what we got from the Transcendent chest from yesterday. That's what I've recorded the 1 key run. But let's see what we get from Transcendent. Oh, there's a Sacred, that's nice. And we get critical rate, critical damage, and speed. That's okay, but I'm actually gonna sell it, I think. No, let's keep it for now. But nice, we got 1 Sacred out of it, and that's why you want to do the Ultra Nightmare. So for Brutal and Nightmare, the rotations might not be the same. I haven't tested them, so this will only be for Ultra Nightmare. The showcase will only be for Ultra Nightmare. If you want to try it out on Brutal and Nightmare, then you should be testing it on your own. For Nightmare especially, I think the speeds for Geomancer at least are 121, but I'm not sure if the ally attack works on Nightmare. I haven't tested it personally. I'm just doing the Ultra Nightmare showcase of the 1 key team. All right, let's get this started. I'm not gonna start this on auto. Let me show you the custom AI. Of course, here I was considering not using the A2 from Geomancer because he does steal the attack up buff from the boss if you allow him to. Depends on the rotation. I want the boss to be hitting me much harder than actually getting the attack up on Geomancer. I think that gives me more damage on the long run. I might test it for this run and have Geomancer steal the buff consistently just to see the damage potential at the end of the run and see how much different it is from actually having the boss keep his attack up buff. So I keep it like this. The reason that I stopped using Quicksand Grasp is that he doesn't need it. Vizier will be extending the debuff that Geomancer will apply. So that's the best case scenario. Maneater needs to start up with the Ancient Blood, but as I said, I'm not going to start this on auto. It doesn't work with the custom AI on auto, so you need to be careful because it's a custom AI, but I put this so that I get the 1 turn in, and then after the 1 turn, after the first AoE, I stop the auto, do it manual, ensure that the rotation works properly, and then I continue. Vizier needs his A2 and A3 blocked, obviously, of course, and Farrakhan the Fat always does his A2 first, and that's it. That's it, all right? 178, 178, but you'll notice that Farrakhan is last here. So Vizier with 178 is faster than the 178 Farrakhan because he's higher up, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how the rotation goes in terms of speed. If everybody had 178, Geomancer will go first, Maneater, Painkeeper, Vizier, and Farrakhan, if the speeds were all the same for all champions, but they're not the same. I explain how they are. Right, let's get this started. I actually tried just 1 run here and we had the stun go on Maneater, but I'll show you guys the run. Hopefully the stun doesn't go on Maneater this time. We can get an unlucky crit on them and that actually messes up the run. We just exit the app, we get the key back. Okay, we start up with Maneater's Unkillable. We go A3 on Painkeeper for the cooldowns. Everybody else, we can do whatever we want. Vizier will go next. We can do A3 or A1 here. It doesn't really matter. Let's do A1 here. On Vizier, we want to do A2 here with Farrakhan. We get the poisons plus the HP burn. Doesn't really matter for the HP burn since Geomancer will replace it right now. And now instead of going the heal, we go A1 on Painkeeper. This is the normal budget Unkillable. It doesn't change anything to the rotation of the hero's skills. So here we didn't get a counterattack on Vizier with the retaliation gear, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll get an extension now. We need to get an extension now if this is going to be a 1 key. Do we get one? We do get an extension. We get an extension also on the other debuffs, which is nice. Hopefully here we won't get the attack down. Okay, we don't get it. So here we can actually go the ally attack because Painkeeper is full in turn meter. You see here, she's at 100%. So even if she gets that extra turn, it doesn't matter for her. But by doing the ally attack, we force Geomancer to hit, and we also force Maneater to hit. And you're playing with RNG whether Geomancer will apply his accuracy down with his A1. And if that's extended, then it's going to cause you to lose 1 debuff. It's all up to you. If you just want to do this on auto after you set this up, then you can do it, and it's not going to be a 1 key every time. It's going to be a 2 key because you'll be losing out for sure 1 or 2 debuffs, but it will be a 2 key. So here I can do the ally attack since it won't mess up with Painkeeper. Painkeeper is at 100% and she won't get more than 100%. It doesn't work like that. So let's go in there with the ally attack. We were lucky and didn't get any of the debuffs. Should go now with the heal. And hopefully the stun will go on Geomancer. Right, it went on Geomancer. Here we go again. Get resisted. That's nice. We want to get resisted. A2 with Geomancer. And let's try and extend again with Vizier. That's nice. We're getting the extensions that we need. Let's do an A1 with Farrakhan. Maneater to come in with the unkillable. Boom, we get the big hit. Counterattack there from Retaliation Gear. Reduce the cooldowns. Hopefully now Farrakhan will have his A2, which we need to apply some more poisons on the boss. We need to get to 10 debuffs. Remember, this is the manual part of the setup, which you don't need to do. So here I can do A1 or A3. I'm going to do A3, which is blocked on the custom AI, but I have it. I do it now because I want to not use the A1 basically. But after I set up all the debuffs, so here we get the attack down. That's unfortunate, but I'm not going to reset the run. We'll actually lose it out now. I can still do the ally attack. I think I'll do it just to show you guys that it works and nothing has broken in terms of the rotation. There it is. We get to do the A2 here. Look at that, 116,000 plus about 70,000 from War Master. Let's do the A1. We do extend everything, which is unfortunate. I mean, if I want to lose the attack down, I would need to lose the other 2 poisons, which is not what I want. Yeah, look at that. 4 turns on the attack now. It's kind of impossible. But here, if I press auto, the run will still go. Because nothing has changed, Painkeeper will still be doing her heal right after the ally attack, and the ally attack will not be messing up with the Painkeeper's turn meter. So look at that, she's full, and we go in there. So this is basically the run. All right, we do have the attack down there. It's going to restrict us for about 1 million or so damage, but everything works as it should. We have maxed out debuffs up there at the top. We don't have the accuracy down, so it's only 1 that's messing up with our run. So you should calculate about 50,000 damage on another 40 turns. How much is that? We're gonna lose out on all that damage because this will be extended by Vizier throughout the run, and it's working perfectly, it seems, so far. I can let this go on until the end, but I want to show you my actual 1 key run. I'll let this go and I'll show you what this team also did by the end of it, but I'll want to show you the specific setup for Spirit version of Ultra Nightmare. Alright guys, so this is the Spirit affinity on the clown boss, under 50% HP on the boss. We start up as before, as in the Void, with A3 on Maneater, A3 on Painkeeper, but we will be doing A1 on Painkeeper until turn count 5. Up here on the top right, you'll see turn count. Once that is on 5, that's when we do the heal. So we do the rotation as normal on every other hero that we have at the moment. But on Painkeeper, we do A1 now. And we're going to do A1 on the next time she has a turn. And the next time, and the next time, until we get to turn count 5. And we'll go here, just going through the steps on every other champion, as we did before. Nothing too special here. I'm not doing the ally attack here on Painkeeper because you've seen that she's not at 100% turn meter. She was at about 95%. So I don't want to mess things up. I'm waiting a little bit on that ally attack to start going in there. So here with Painkeeper, we would have done heal, but now we do the A1 because we got the speed down debuff on us. So we do the A1. This is the same rotation as the normal budget and key level when it's on Spirit, by the way. It doesn't change anything. But since we've got an ally attack, we need to be a little bit extra careful. So we do the cooldown reduction because it's available. We see it right there. Turn count 4 still. Here's the Maneater A2. We can go with the A2 on Farrakhan. We're gonna try to extend, by the way, as much as possible with Vizier, but that's not the point of this part of the video. Gonna have Painkeeper here. So we're gonna go with the A1 here. And the next time she'll get the turn, she'll be doing the heal. And this is turn count 5 right before the next stun, okay? We get to do the ally attack now because Painkeeper is at 100% turn meter. So we go in there with the ally attack, look at that. And now we can do the heal right before the boss gets the turn. Boom, and that's the rotation for Spirit. And this run actually gave me that 1 key because of the damage potential that we can get from the double hits that the boss does. The boss does more damage when it's on Affinity compared to when it's on Void. So we'll see way more damage out of Geomancer at the end of the run. I won't let the run go for you guys to see the whole thing, but I will show you the end part and how much damage we're actually doing for the end part of the video. Alright guys, so we're in turn 44 on this run on Spirit. Remember, we have all our debuffs still going strong. 45 turns, 61 million damage, and you'll see that each time we get a turn, we do about 2 million damage, which is insane. But this is only for the final part of it. We don't start out doing so much damage. So you'll see here, look at all those numbers, 75,000, it just overrides each other. We jumped to 64 million. We still have 4 more turns to go. This is going to be very close, but it just shows the power of Geomancer's passive when the boss does the most insane amount of damage, and that's when he gets close to 50 turns. So we're at 66. I didn't think this run would have been the 1 key, but it is. Just get a look at how much damage we'll be doing. And remember, on the normal hits that they're doing, Vizier and Geomancer are doing some weak hits in there because it's Spirit. So if this was Force, we would have been doing even more damage because we would have strong affinity on Farrakhan and neutral affinity on Vizier and Geo. And the voids would be voids, so it doesn't really matter. But we had 48. Look at the damage now. It's going to jump up. Boom. 70 million. 1.5 just because of those hits from the boss. And we're at 70.3. We already exceeded the 1 key threshold. And then that final hit from the boss is going to jump us all the way to 71.7 million. Look at the damage on Geo. 33 million damage. Alright guys, so now we're actually on the end of the Void run. You see the difference in damage from being under 50% HP on the clan boss to being on Void affinity. So the Void affinity, the reason that we have so much less damage is because the boss doesn't double hit. When he's under 50% HP, the boss does a double hit, which actually does more damage to us, which definitely boosts the damage potential of Geomancer's passive. This one, we don't get the double hit, we get less damage on us. And we even have, strong affinities right now. No, well, not strong, but it's not weak affinity compared to the Spirit run that you just watched. So this one, on Void, Geomancer did 18 million damage compared to the 30 million that he does when it's under 50% HP. A huge difference. Farrakhan did about 17 million, Vizier 8 million, Painkeeper 4.6, and Maneater at a 7 million. Definitely room for improvement here in terms of the gear, but it won't get you to that 1 key on Void as easily as it is on Affinity. All right, you can keep that in mind, but it's an easy 2 key. Look at the damage potential coming out of this run right here. 55 million, easy 2 key, guaranteed. With the less gear you can get there. Like you don't need all that critical damage that I showed. You don't need Farrakhan with all that damage or to have Farrakhan in there. Honestly, if you go Vizier, you can easily get a 2 key regardless. You can have anything on the DPS slot. Even without Vizier, the budget and killable guys get you to that 2 key. This is just a showcase of that 1 key that this team has as potential and that it is possible. I did this on my free-to-play account. You guys know it. This account is also given away. If you didn't know, I do have a giveaway. You can check it out. I'm gonna put a link down in the description and comments of the video just so you guys have a look at how the giveaway is done. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.